Of course, there are a lot of reasons why someone would make a video for YouTube, and especially a video about the Reebok Instapump Furies. They're an iconic shoe, an extremely unique silhouette. And you see this and you know exactly what it is. That's one great reason to do it. Another one, this is a collaboration with one of the biggest names in animation right now, the Minions. That's another reason to do it. But to be honest, as you've seen from clicking on this video and the title of it, the reason I'm making this video is for my little girl. She's 3 years old, turned 3 years old just last month, and she loves Minions, or as she says, Mims, because she can't quite get it out right yet. But she loves her Minions, and when I saw these shoes, I thought, you know what, it's a great shoe, so it's worth bringing to the channel and showing to people and talking about. But also, it's a nice little marker for my little girl, turning 3 last month, and for her and for you guys out there who appreciate your Reeboks and your Instapump Furies, and anyone who likes the Minions. This video is for all of you guys. So without further ado, let's get into this and take a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Reebok Instapump Fury Minions. This is the Tokyo バル23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo バル23 Sneaker Channel です。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And the last week, it's been an interesting time at the channel. We've had 2 videos sent to us from Europe about samples and extremely rare shoes that you wouldn't get a chance to normally see. Maybe in photographs you'd have a look at these guys, but actually having someone show us them in hand is an incredible thing. So thank you to Seabass_photos, the Instagram account that sent to us 4 videos that we packaged up into 2 separate videos of amazing and incredible samples. So it's been an interesting week in those terms, but then here we are. This should be Friday's video. I'm shooting it on Tuesday night, but I think it's Friday's video, and it'll be all about these Reebok Instapump Minions. And there's a few things to do. Like I said, this is partly because of my little girl, and what I'm going to do is I've got a toy of hers, which is a Minion, but I want to test out and see what's happening with the green screen. If you watch my channel, and you have recently, you'll know that I switched from iMovie to Filmora, not by choice. Problems with the iMovie forced me to make a quick turnaround one Saturday and onto Filmora. It turns out to be a good choice, because I quite like Filmora, but the green screen doesn't operate in the same way as the iMovie green screen does. So well, the other day when I was talking about blazers, I had my Sakai blazers out, the yellow pair, and for some reason on the green screen, the yellow and the Sakai blazers didn't work out. So I thought, you know, it's Minions today, that's yellow. Let's see what happens when I do this. Now, this might not work. It might be that when I hold this up, all you see is this, which is a Minion. Or it might be that the yellow on there is actually reading as green on Filmora, and you're looking through this and all you can see is like the eyes and the bear and the swimwear on this guy. So so you know, for 2 reasons. One is to illustrate the point that my little girl loves her Minions, and this is very much a video dedicated to her, and 2, to see how that reacts on the green screen. We get to see that and bring that to the channel. So so that's just a little sort of aside as we think about the Minions and this upcoming release and why we're looking at that particular shoe today. So so without further ado, we'll get into this and we'll talk about this. It's a great looking shoe. I've done a few Instapump Furies down the years. I mean, I've had my channel for something like 20 months, getting on close to 2 years, and I've probably done Instapump Furies maybe 5 or 6 times. So I've done a few of them, and there are some great points on this shoe to point out. But there's something specific about it that I wouldn't mind betting that 99% of you guys out there have no idea what I'm talking about. But you're going to be like, that is seriously cool, especially if you're fans of the Minion. And what I'm talking about is this right here. This is Pinot Chocolate. Anyone who is connected to Japan, has lived in Japan, or is actually Japanese will know what Pinot Chocolates are. They're little round chocolates. There's 6 of them in a pack like this, and Minions have been sponsoring them for a while now. But the outside's cool because it's got the Minions on them, but what's even cooler is on the inside, and I'll show you what the inside looks like here. And it's a sort of brown colour instead of being yellow and blue, which is what the traditional Minion colours are. This is the inside of the box, and you think, yeah, that's cool, that's you know, standard branding, but it's actually what in the UK I think we call Where's Wally, and what in America I think they call Where's Waldo. And you're not gonna thank me for this because it's gonna drive you nuts. But what they do is one of those Minions there is actually eating one of those Pinot chocolates, and the game is that you have to try and find the Minion, the single Minion that's eating a Pinot chocolate, ice cream chocolate in that picture right there. And apparently if you can do it in 10 seconds, you're a genius. I've tried it and I couldn't even find them at all. So I don't know where that puts me in the rankings, but pretty low. But anyway, it's just a little aside into the Minions world, a bit of a look for you guys out there who aren't in Japan into sort of Japanese culture or society or the way they do things here, and it's a cool thing. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe Pinot is a bigger brand, and then people they've got them overseas, and you can tell me that in the comments down below, but I only know them as a Japanese brand, and inside the box they have that find the minion that's eating the Pinot, so it's a cool little game to play once you've finished eating your 6 chocolate ice creams in there. So okay, enough about all that. It's a bit of background on why I'm doing this video and a bit of sort of insight into Japanese society and stuff like that, because I am here in Tokyo, Japan. But what you're really here to do is to see what I'm talking about with this shoe, and I'm going to take you through some of the details on it and some of the interesting facts on it. There are some really cool details on it. In fact, I would say there's 2 very cool details and there's 1 potentially cool detail. But then there's 2 actual letdowns on the sneaker that I was a bit disappointed with. So we'll go high and work low. So the cool things that I'm talking about that I really dig on the shoe, let's have a look at the front end of this guy and go to that pump on the Instapump Fury there. I did the Tom and Jerry's actually. I'd forgotten I'd done a Tom and Jerry for these guys, and it's important because the Tom and Jerry is also animation, as is the Minions, and on the pump on the Tom and Jerry's they'd done, hopefully I'll be able to show you in the picture behind me, they'd put an animation of Tom or Jerry's face on there. So in the case of these guys, instead of being an animation of a minion, they've taken that circle and been like, come on, that looks like an eye. So what you've got in the front there is a minion's eye, and I think that's very cool. I like it when they play around with little details like that, but they do it in a way that makes sense. So they're not just putting the eye somewhere randomly on the shoe like on the toe box, which isn't round, but it's sort of rounded, but they actually put it on the round sort of element of the shoe, which is that Instapump up at the top of the shoe there. Very cool. I think it's very nice. And then if you go back from that, probably the coolest feature as far as Minion fans are concerned is actually the lining and the insole on these guys, and you can see looking down from above that it looks a bit like that Pinot Chocolate box on the inside. Tons of Minions all crammed together in there, and they are known for herding the Minions. They do sort of herd together in a big group and move as one, so it makes sense for the lining and the insole to look like that on these guys. So it's a very cool sort of element, a sort of nod to the Minions on there. And something I forgot to mention before we get into the maybe cool part on these shoes and then the 2 disappointing features on them, I did forget to mention that there's a Club C as well. So what we're looking at is an Instagram, I'm going to say that a lot, Instapump Fury, but there's actually a different silhouette called the Reebok Club C that is also coming out with that sort of minion feel to it. And the tiny little detail I like on these guys is a Reebok bit of branding with the Union Jack, the British national flag, the Union Jack flag on the Reebok branding up there. And the reason I like that is because the most recent Minion film that I saw was like the original Minion film where they were in London, England, and mucking around with the Queen. So I know that's a Reebok brand thing, but I kind of just like that nod there. But anyway, that's the Club C's. We're not focused on those today. We're focused on the Instapump Furies. I have to think about that so I don't say Instagram. And we're at the point where I was saying that there's something that maybe is cool. And what I'm talking about is the classic part of the silhouette is that chunk missing from the midsole and the outsole on these guys. That's what gives these guys their definition. And I've seen 2 different variants on this. Very cool. Looks like this where it says Minions and is it Rise of Gru, I think is the name of the film. I think this film was due to drop around this time, but because of the coronavirus it's been pushed back. But the shoe that was supposed to come out with the film can't be pushed back, so this is dropping way ahead of the release date. I think it's October the 1st, whereas the release date for the Minions film has actually been pushed back to next year. Another victim of the coronavirus. But what I'm showing you there is that sort of midfoot shank, that carbon fiber area on the outsole of the shoe, which has been made up into the Minions and Rise of Gru. I think we're going to see this Rise of Gru. But then I saw this as well, bang, there's a different version. It's just pure white, and I don't know why. I'm hoping it's the design version that goes out and is released, and that white there is, I don't know, it's maybe something to do with promotional materials or something like that. But I don't know for sure. We'll have to wait until we see these guys guys actually drop to find out what that midfoot shank looks like. And then the two disappointing features on the shoe, I'm going to start small and work big because that's how we'll finish the video today, is the heel. The heel has a massive splash of Reebok branding on the back, and I thought they could have done a bit more with that, maybe something a bit minion-y, having little minions like hanging off the Reebok branding, or minion-based branding on the back. I'm trying to think, maybe the E's in Reebok could be the eyes of a minion or something like that, or the O and the B and the O, maybe eyes in a minion, something like that. They could have done a bit more with the branding on the back. It was kind of like a bit sort of like, is that all, when I saw that? And then the other thing, going back out, like I said, to look at the whole shoe, it's awful yellow, and I know minions are yellow, but they're yellow and blue, but all of the blue hits on this shoe tend to come on places that are subtle or hidden, like on the inside or the outsole or the top of the lining. So there's not that much blue on the surface of the shoe, and I think it's a bit too overwhelmingly yellow. Speaking of that, actually, the last thing we'll talk about, looking front on the shoe, and you might not realize this even as you're looking at it right now, but it's actually mismatched, because what you've got on one side is a Volt and blue colorway to go with the yellow, and then on the other side you've got a blue and Volt, and hopefully what you're able to see on the green screen behind me here is the places where those Volt and blue switch out on the left and right shoes, which give that mismatch feel to it. So which is a nice touch, and it's a good way to draw this video to a close and finish it up. So let me know in the comments down below if you appreciate this kind of thing. Are you here because you like shoes? Are you here because you like minions? Or are you here because you like my channel? Or maybe all three? But it would be great to hear in the comments down below why it was you dropped in by on this particular video, which is a little shout out to my little girl who's 3 years old, sleeping next door, and it's time for me to tie this video up with a bow and put it away for tonight so I can go and get some sleep myself. So thanks for checking out the content, appreciate it very much, and I'll do what I do at the end of every single video, which is remind you I do this every single day, so you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.